doing this. We're doing this. Okay. I'm home alone. There's going to be no noise in the background for once. Woohoo! I'm suffering in my room. I'm getting over a cold. That's also a plus. So, what better way to waste time than to make a video because you want to be productive. So, first things first. I'm the Irrational Mirror. This video is about learning how to draw! Yay! Everything you're going to need for this stupid tutorial is a book. Well, actually, you don't really even need a book. Something to draw on. I have my sketchbook, which I will flip to the newest page. Let's flip it. You will need, also, a pencil of your choice. I draw with mechanical pencils because they are fun. You also don't have to compulsively frickin' sharpen them. You also need an eraser, because usually the erasers on your pencil / mechanical pencil, excuse me, are shit. And then you're also going to need a pen. In this case, you don't need anything fancy, like those really nice Prismacolor pens or anything. You can just use like a Sharpie, thin shit. Or you can use a gel pen, or you can use a, what's it called? A ballpoint pen. Whatever pen you use, it don't matter. You just need a frickin' pen. So, I think the simplest thing to do is like, choose something to draw. Alright? So, I'm doing this left-handed because I'm actually right-handed, and I've been meaning to teach myself how to draw left-handed for fun. So, you know what? You're going to see how horribly I draw with my left hand, and then you're going to realize exactly what it means to draw well. Okay, so we're going to pick something random to draw. I'm currently, like, looking at my wall of amazing things, and I just noticed right there, look, there's Bendy. I'm going to draw Bendy, because he's super freaking easy. You draw a circle. This is really hard to do when you're looking through the freaking... Can you even see that I drew a circle? It's a very ugly circle. Can you see that? It's an ugly circle. Alright, now that you've drawn a circle, you draw kind of another circle. And then you draw bumps. Oh my god, this looks horrible. And then another circle, and then another circle, and then lines. Look, it's ugly. Alright, I'm doing this with my left hand, and it looks ugly. You want to know why it looks ugly? Because I have no hand-eye coordination or muscle memory in my left hand for me to draw. Want to know what it looks like when I draw this with my right hand? I'm sure everyone's, like, had, like, a picture or whatever of, like, left versus right hand. So, like, circle. Looks more like a circle. Another circle. The arches. Look at that. That looks significantly better than that. Want to know why? Because I draw more with my right hand, so there's more muscle memory and hand-eye coordination going into it. And I shouldn't point out that I actually am supposed to have less hand-eye coordination because of a mental thing I have to deal with. The point being, I'm only as good as I am because I never stop drawing. You see over there? You see that? You see these? All of that? And some of those? And... okay, there's a little more over there, too. Hell, there's even drawings in these notebooks that, like, don't normally... I just showed a lot of these, actually all of these, in a video on TikTok. The point being, I have filled up and wasted so much paper. This isn't even, like, the pinnacle of all the drawings I've done. This is, like... a minority of it, because a lot of the times when I was younger, I'd throw crap away because I hated it, and lots of self-hate, and thinking I wasn't any good. But now, look up there, someone commissioned me! I drew that for someone! I also screwed it up and had to draw it again. That's not the point. The point is... You are always going to draw and think you suck. That's just a given. You are always going to have days where things look like crap because you're starting. But the rest of the time, if you practice, and most of the time it's like practice with simple shapes, And if you draw the same thing over and over again enough times, it gets better. Like, I'm drawing my OC now. Look, I don't even have to look at a picture of her anymore. I literally know everything I'm drawing and where I'm drawing it. It's just that easy because it's something I draw so much. It also helps that I specifically designed her like a cartoon character with examples in mind being Star vs. the Forces of Evil and Gravity Falls. That's the two cartoons I base the cartoon style I have off of. That and Rubber Hose animation. We will never forget the Rubber Hose animation that inspired Bendy. And that's another thing I say about when you're learning how to draw. I probably should just be drawing in this video because this is all about drawing. It's first pick what you want to draw. Pick a random character. It doesn't have to be yours. It can be something that already exists. Like Bendy. You start with the basics. It's a circle for the head or whatever the basic shape of their head is. It could be a frickin' square if that's the way the character was designed. You then add their neck if they have a neck. Bendy doesn't, but I'm putting it there because I'm going to be doing a thing with a pose. Then you put where their frickin' body is, where their legs come out, circles at their shoulders, and then you figure out where you're putting their frickin' arms. So in this case, this is where their elbow is. Whoop. This is where their hand's going. This is where their elbow is. This is where their hand's going. I remember thinking that this was the dumbest way to draw because I used to just draw and have at it without any sort of base underneath of it. And that's why every single time, like really early in my time, all I ever drew was people with their arms sticking out by their sides like that and really crummy anatomy. I mean, like, now I can't even freaking get myself to do crummy anatomy because it pissed me off. But literally, this is how I used to draw. I didn't have any base of it, and everything was in, like, the same stupid pose. Nowadays, I do these, and I get a pose. Because I'm actually figuring out where I want to put every freaking thing on their body. I feel like I'm getting angry in this, and it's not the point. I also just, like, broke I'm going to draw only with my left hand, but it's easier to do it with my right. This is always where people are going to frickin' start when they start drawing. They're always going to start with, like, no coordination and, like, no clue what they're doing. And by the end of it, they're going to get better. I mean, let's flip backwards. This is stuff I did at the beginning of my sketchbook. Some of the stuff everyone's already seen, but I don't even finish everything. That's gay. But that's the point. That's the point with art. When you draw, you improve all the time. And I mean, that's not even counting artists who just draw weirdly. I mean, hold on. Let's use this as a reference. Alright, these were all drawn at different points in times. Some of these, like, hold on, let me get Peggy and Hamilton, and where's Jason Dean? You watch me struggle to find another picture. Alright. Jason Dean. See these two things? I did not make any of this. This was made by one of my friends. Alright? Biggest thing I feel I should mention is my friend who made these for me does not draw. She colors, but what she did for these, she pulled a picture up on the computer, took out her nice thick cardstock paper, and using the light of the computer, traced these. She traced these. And they're beautiful. And I'm going to say this right now before anyone else can say, you are allowed to trace. Trace to your heart's content. I've traced before. I traced a lot. I would get those how to draw manga books from the library. I'd put a piece of printer paper over top of a page, and I'd trace on what was on the page. And I would never, I would trace the starting bare bones, or I would trace the final product. Didn't matter which I started out with, I traced. That is a way to improve. What you're doing with drawing is you're building muscle memory and hand-eye coordination. Tracing is going to help you build that. Once you feel confident to start drawing something just by looking at it, after a while of tracing that picture, you're going to be able to do it, because as soon as you build up that confidence to think you can do it, you can start doing it. I mean, I keep getting my freaking hand in the way. This is what happens when you film with your phone. That being said, I drew this in, I want to say like junior year-ish of high school, and I'm 20 now. I'm 20 years old. I drew this a while ago. I want to say like 4 years. This is another good example of improvement. I drew this as a sophomore when I was like 15. I'm 20 now. 5 years ago, this is the Cheshire Cat I drew. Alright? So let's move all the other shit out of the way into like a corner of like, oh my god, stop falling. Alright, 5 years ago I drew that Cheshire Cat. Let's see if I can draw it again. I really wish I had a freaking reference picture for this. That's another thing. Use reference pictures when you're doing something new, like a freaking pose that you've never done before. Let's see, we're gonna do sort of a weird oblong shape. More of a weird oblong shape. This is the back leg. There's another back leg right there. And then we're gonna do the freaking cattail. I mean, I don't feel like this is getting a point across. I think this is just me being, like, angry and ranting about drawing. But, like, okay, if we're being fair, this is, like, a really ugly cat head. Alright, I'm gonna kind of cheat. I'm gonna pause this video and come back when I finish this picture. There you go. I'm still actually really bad at drawing, like, animals, but point being, this is me now. This is what I drew 5 years ago. There's a kind of improvement. I think the biggest problem is, you know, perspective, and I didn't have a reference to actually know if this was a physically possible fucking position, and I just said a bad word. That being said, 5 years ago today, there's an improvement, kind of. Let's see. Let's continue on a theme of same frickin' character, a million bajillion cajillion words that don't exist, numbers, times. This is Amunet, a character I made and designed to be a cartoon. To be a cartoon that could easily exist within Gravity Falls, or that other one I said earlier, Star vs. the Forces of Evil. I draw her a lot. I actually draw her every so often, a few times a week, just for the hell of it. I mean, I could pull out a different sketchbook that I finished a few days ago and show you like a page full of pictures of her, but that's not the point. The point is, she is easy to draw. Her design actually has existed with me for like 10 years now, I think. Close to 10 years. It's almost 10 years. I've had a design for her for almost 10 years. Alright? It wasn't the same character at the very beginning, but the design is old. I just happened to repurpose it and use it as something as a cartoon. You guys can't see me do the weird gestures with my face. But that's the point. I draw this character a lot. She's super freaking easy for me to freaking draw. On TikTok, there's the video of, 1 second, 10 minutes, and then when the next is supposed to be an hour, and instead I did mine in 20 minutes. And it was a very crappy sketch thing in 1 second. In 1 minute, I think it was, oh no, I did mine 10 minutes. Alright, so under 10 minutes, I drew Amunet, full freaking body, with a weird pose, and I did a complete line art. I actually outlined it with a marker. Here, I want to say these were all, like, probably 5 minutes each to draw if it wasn't difficult for me to find marker, or if my marker wasn't trying to crap out on me. This was before I had to replace the color of a marker. That being said, these pictures, I draw this character a lot. She's become so easy to me that I can draw her in seconds. That's just life. This is old, but not as old, or actually probably as old as these. So, like, I want to say this is sophomore year as well, and I probably took about multiple class periods to draw this, because I actually did draw in school. And, I mean, most people might say, oh yeah, I never draw in school. I call bull crap on that. I actually was supposed to be allowed to draw, again, because of a mental thing. I had permission to draw because when I got too stressed, I would explode and cause a scene. So I had an excuse. I was allowed to draw to de-stress myself. So this probably took me multiple class periods to actually frickin' finish, as well as multiple times on the computer to figure out what exactly I was drawing. I'm pretty sure this pose, this character is in. And the majority of, like, the art style for it was probably from something I saw off the internet. I liked it. I decided to try and simplify just draw the base of it on my own. And then I added on to it. And this isn't even in a line art stage. This is the sketch. This is the sketch I worked on for probably a whole day and said this was finished. I don't even think you can really see any of my erase lines. Or, well, you can see some of them. Where contemplation went. And I really love this picture. It's why it's within one of my notebooks. I really love this. It's old. These are potentially older. These are probably from, like, the 8th grade. So these probably are exactly 10. Not 10. Why do I keep wanting to go to 10? These are older. These are closer to, like, 6 or 7 years old. They're heavily Adventure Time influenced. Like, there's no other way to describe it. This was a time when I was getting into Adventure Time, and on the back, we have more of it. But these are the main focal points. Is there more on the back? No, that's blank. Okay. Again, I only drew in pencil for these, and I considered them finished. Do I look at this now and think they're good? Not really. Honest to goodness, I see a lot of my mistakes, and I improved upon them now. Look at your old art and see where you made mistakes, specifically in anatomy and posing, and fix them now. Don't just be upset about how bad you are. Just always try and improve. Let's see. Is there another good example of this? Oh yeah, here we go. Here's some more of that Adventure Time theme nonsense. This is one I named Raven. She was made within a similar year time frame as those demons. But, this was after I watched the episode with Death in it. Is it Death? Or is it just the King of the Underworld? I don't know. I'd have to look. But this is who I designed out of it. I actually really love her design a lot. I don't draw her, like, ever, but I simplified things. I didn't, like, over criticalize all parts of this. I probably didn't even look at a reference for this, but I was so used to drawing certain poses all the time that they were just, like, second nature to me to just draw random things in. Flip those off to the side. We've got Dipper and Mabel, older. This, honest to goodness, is a doodle, probably once again from, like, sophomore year. Everything happened in sophomore year. I swear not everything happened in sophomore year. I do have something from senior year. That being said, these two are probably, actually not even from sophomore. These are probably from, like, junior, for being honest. These two were probably made after everything was over and the depression hit. The sadness. The point I'm trying to make. If it stops falling! This has been 20 minutes of me complaining. You see all my line art mistakes where things don't line up. You see where I gave no craps about coloring. And it's bad. You see where the anatomy doesn't make sense. But I got better. I'm, like, gonna finish off this video with, like, last of my critiques of old art. This is, I want to say senior year. I designed her senior year. Who am I kidding? That's senior year. This, another character I designed purely for a cartoon. This is a Read Try It an Adventure Time character. She's way too much detail to be really a good Adventure Time character, if we're being fairly honest. I think her hair could use less, like, strands, but I still like her. Simple pose, something I was familiar with doing a million times. I tried to do shading, which I, honest to goodness, suck at. And I tried to make it look like there was wind going through her hair, which I also sucked at. Here we just have a human Bill Cipher. This had to be done in sophomore year. Sophomore to junior year. For being honest, what is it? I did watch Gravity Falls for a while. I actually ended up stop watching it because we didn't have Cox anymore. We ended up with basic cable, and we no longer had the, what is it? Disney Channel. So, or actually, no, we did have Disney Channel, but we no longer had Disney XD. So, I was very much behind on watching Gravity Falls. It took me for a while to find out who Bill Cipher was, and then I drew a humanized version of him even longer after finding out. I think this was close to when I was waiting for them to have a season finale. Before the season finale. This was drawn before the Weirdmageddon, but I think after Ford was introduced. We're being honest here. This is from senior year. This is from not that long ago. This is like 2 years ago, roughly. Bordering on 3 years, mainly because, whoa. I dropped my phone. This is bad. I have no clue how to foreshorten. The pose is weird. I came up with it on the spot. I actually move, when I come up with a new pose, I will actually stand in it for half a second to figure out if the pose is physically possible. You can do that too. You look silly, but it's easier to ask someone else to do the pose for you, so you can draw them instead of imagining how to draw yourself. That's a pro tip. There's no shading. This is, there's also flowers. The flowers suck, but this character, his neck's too long, it looks janky, his chin is awkward, the line art is just all awkward in this gosh darn picture. There's an attempt at a form of shading in the hair, but it looks so stupid. It's just everything about it looks kind of janky and stupid, but I still love this picture. That's the thingy, and this is the last picture that, like, everyone's seen. This is, I don't know when to classify this picture as being drawn as, but this is another random cartoon OC designed specifically after I saw fan art for Invader Zim. And I drew that. I think it looks crappy. I also can tell that there's a good influence from Chobits there, because those little horn thingies. But all of this turned into attempts here, turned into first picture here, where I looked up a pose to use, where I've improved on my hands. They're still not that great. Where I've improved upon expressions and anatomy and my nose is itchy. I think the point of this video was originally I was going to show you how, teach you how I draw and, steps that you could take to learn how to draw. In reality, this just devolved into me talking about it. And that's important. It's important to know the basics, to know where you're going to start, to know where you're going to come out as. But it's also important to know to not care from where you start or where you want to end up. To just do it. That is a meme. I know it's a meme. Just. Even if you think you're bad at drawing, don't stop. Even if you think you're going through an art block or you feel like crap, just keep drawing. Fill up millions of sketchbooks. Don't throw anything out. Don't delete anything off the internet. Well, actually, okay, you can hide things on the internet. Just don't delete the pictures. I regret doing that. I did a mass delete off of one of my DeviantArt accounts of all of my old art because I felt embarrassed by it and because I was trying to fine-tune a character story. I regret deleting all these pictures. I regret it. Don't get rid of this stuff. Show where you've improved, especially when it comes to drawing and especially when it comes to storytelling, and just don't stop. Look back occasionally, cringe and laugh and have fun. See how far you've come. Just keep drawing. That's my biggest advice on learning how to draw. Just keep drawing. Even if you think you suck and you're crap, just keep on drawing. It's going to get better. You're going to gain muscle memory. You're going to have better hand-eye coordination. It's going to continuously improve. And the less challenged you feel when you're drawing, the more you should challenge yourself. Even if you don't approve of the methods, look up. I was about to say something naughty. I purposely will occasionally draw NSFW art. I will find very, very borderline pornographic images of couples and I will draw them because I know that's how I'm going to improve because I know I'm not good at drawing couples. The more I draw them, the more practice and experience I get, the better I get. That's just how it is. Just do that. Just enjoy the 30 minutes of me barely showing you how to draw and mainly just talking. And if you found this even moderately amusing, tell me. Comment and tell me how horrible you think I am at explaining how to draw, how much problems you have drawing. Just tell me, talk to me. I will continue and get better at actually making videos showing you how to draw. I will stay left-handed the whole entire time so I can train my left hand to frickin' draw well. We'll do this together. Just